Your boiler.
I know, I'm so sorry. Okay, when you're ready, go.
There we go. Hello, everybody. Thank you for coming and welcome to our candidate question time for our autumn by-elections 2021-22. My name is Kay Dennis. I am the former Vice President Welfare. I use they, them pronouns, and I want to welcome you here tonight. So tonight is an opportunity to for our candidates for our activities officer role and our welfare role to answer questions that have been submitted prior to this event. So students are welcome to ask questions in the chat, but we're going to be prioritising those questions that have been asked before tonight. And candidates have been asked if they want to, they can respond to those questions that you put in the chat on their social media and through their campaign activity there. This event is being recorded, so just so that you're aware, and it's going to run from 6:30, 6:40 for an hour. The order of tonight's event, the activities officer candidates are going to go first because we've got 2 of them, and the welfare officer candidates are going to go second because we have 5. So just for some ground rules for the audience, tonight's event is a great opportunity for candidates to answer the questions students have submitted prior. This evening, we expect you as our members to uphold the student charter and the SU's values. So with this in mind, we will not tolerate any form of harassment or bullying from the audience members targeted at the candidates or fellow students. Students breaching this will be removed from the chat, and the Students' Union holds the right to report these breaches of the student charter to the university. So please keep this evening kind-hearted. That is what we're in the spirit of, and yeah, keep it outside of this room, please. So just for some etiquette for the audience, please make sure that your microphone is muted. We're not going to be taking verbal questions from the audience. If you do have anything, please put it into the chat. But bear in mind that chat is readable by all and it's being moderated by Parker, our member of SU staff here tonight. Please also keep your camera off if you're in the audience. I'll be popping in and out because I'm the host. You don't want to be seeing my face throughout the night. And when the candidates are not speaking, we're going to be asking them when it's not their turn as a candidate, we're going to be asking them to turn their cameras off. So it'll be the activities and then the welfare candidates all at the same time. So for the candidates, we are giving you 1 minute 30 to answer questions. I will give you a warning when it hits 1 minute of you answering that, and then you can carry on until we stop. Please avoid referring to staff or previous officers by name. And each role we're asking the same question. So just for the audience to bear that in mind, everybody is getting the opportunity to ask those questions. Just so you are aware, we're asking each candidate in alphabetical order, but we're going to be kind of rotating through the welfare roles. It's a bit easier with the activities because there's only 2, but to give everybody a fair amount of time so that we don't have the same people with 5 minutes to think of an answer to a question, we'll be rotating through the alphabet and so forth. So yeah. We are going to kick it off with our activity officer questions. So can our welfare officer candidates please turn their cameras off? And we will speak to you soon. So hello, both of you. Our first kind of order of ceremonies is, can we have a round of introductions? So Aaliyah, can you introduce yourself, your pronouns and your degree with your year and which campus you're on?
Hello, my name's Aaliyah Orr. I am on the Tree Forest campus. I use she, her pronouns. And I study early years education and practice to be a nursery school teacher. I'm in my 3rd year also.
Fabulous, thank you. And Christoph, your name, your pronouns, your degree, your year and your campus, please.
I'm Christoph Müse and my pronouns are he, him. I'm a Cairo year 1 student. I did foundation year last year and I'm in the Tree Forest campus as well.
Fabulous. So, 2 seconds. Parker, are you okay to do the timing for me?
Yep.
Thank you very much. Our first question will be, we'll go with Aaliyah first and then Christoph. So Aaliyah, what has been your proudest moment from your time at USW when you're ready?
Oh, sorry. Hi. My proudest moment would probably be being a course rep, as I attend a lot of meetings and it's not my first time. I help out my classmates a lot, and that's not just involving complaints. and things. That's just everyone seems to come to me about everything. I'm practically a tutor at this point, and I answer all the questions. I help everybody in my class, and I just consider myself really helpful, to be honest. Sorry. I help people with their forms, and just a lot of people have recommended me for a lot of different things because of it. So I would say that it's my proudest moment within my university career. Sorry. I don't know what else to say now. Sorry.
Yeah, that's okay. You don't have to use the full minute if you don't want
right.
to. There you go. And Christoph, the same to you. What has been your proudest moment from your time at USW?
So I think it's definitely like the deep friendships I've made so far coming here. I had a difficult time at school with that, and it really meant a lot to me, the friendships I've made over here, as well as the classmates I didn't expect to be like ask questions about the coursework itself. I've never seen myself as like a very academic person, but people coming over and asking me for help with classwork and everything definitely gave me a sense of pride and almost joy as well. Yeah, don't have a lot else to say.
Fab, that is perfect. So the next question, and we will go with Christoph first. What experience do you have that is related to the activities officer role?
I used to be I don't know if you have that over here in the UK, but I basically worked with a lot of kids from younger years at school, organizing events with them. We also did a couple of fairs in school, which you get like different vendors in and just organize activities. I don't know if I did too much else that's too applicable to the activities officer role so far. Yeah,
That is
that's
fine.
it.
Fantastic. And Aaliyah, the same question. What experience do you have that is relevant to your role?
Well, I've been teaching in primary schools for over 5 years now. So I've been planning lesson plans and doing PE lessons. I've also been a coach of PE lessons. So I've got a fair amount of engagement with sports and clubs. I'm also part of societies that I help out with. I'm part of cheerleading, which is also competitive. So I know how the facilities work, and I know a lot of the members of most societies. So yeah, that's me.
Fantastic, thank you.
you.
Our next question will be, we'll start with Aaliyah first. What motivates you to run for the activities officer role?
I think of myself as like really helpful and kind and positive, and I'm just a really happy-go-lucky person. So I think I'm a really friendly person to talk to. And I think that's kind of what you need as an activities officer, because it's a fun role. It's a fun. It's about societies. It's about sustainability. It's just fun, I think. And I think I could put myself into that role and make it my own. And I just think I'd be really good at it. Thanks.
Fabulous. And Christoph, what motivates you to run for the activities officer role?
What initially motivated me to apply for the position was that I was trying to make my own society for a while, and it just didn't happen because obviously the activities officer place got vacated, and so I still didn't get to make my society. So I thought, well, I'll just run for the position myself, and then researching a bit about the position. I found myself liking it very much. I think I would fit it very well because I just love being active around the community. I love enabling other people to get to have their own activities going as well. Yeah, that's it.
Fabulous, thank you. So this one is a little bit longer, so I'll just take my time reading out for you. And we'll start with Christoph first. Bearing in mind the hybrid modes of study that are currently in place, what activities are you hoping to deliver in an increasingly precautionary environment due to COVID-19? So I'll repeat that again just so that you've got it. Bearing in mind the hybrid modes of study currently in place, what activities are you hoping to deliver in an increasingly precautionary environment due to COVID-19? Christoph, we'll start with you.
That's a difficult one. I think the problem with the hybrid mode that we're having is that a lot of people feel isolated and can't connect as well to their fellow students as they would like to. So I think a good thing to do would maybe have more like chances to meet their fellow students, have activities organized where you can just meet in perhaps smaller groups with like-minded people. And apart from that, we could, depending what the new COVID ruling is, because we have to respect what the new rules are at the time, it's difficult to plan that far ahead, I think. But like I said, I would try to engage in more activities with groups as big as they can be, so you have a chance to meet more of your fellow students at the start of the year, especially. I mean, the start of the year already happened, so that's delayed, but next term.
Fab, thank you. And Aaliyah, would you like me to repeat the question? Have you got it?
No, I'm okay, thank you.
Fab.
I do have to completely agree with Christoph. Isolation is definitely a huge thing due to this pandemic. Something has to be done about it rather than just cancelling societies and clubs and everything. I think more needs to be done about it, but put more rules in place. So I think for like clubs and sports, I think maybe if you even took the facilities outside, it would be less limited than having it indoors. So more could be done rather than just having to cancel it because people can't be 2 meters apart and everything. I don't think societies or clubs or anything should be limited because of the whole pandemic. I just think that rules need to be put in place to make it better and for the safety of our students. Thanks.
Fab, thank you. Our next question is, a big part of the activity's role is leading the SU's sustainability work. So what are your own values with this area? Aaliyah first.
There was already a campaign done about it for recycling, which I would really like to bring back because it is a huge issue with, especially with holes in accommodation. So I would love to do a campaign again with recycling and in terms of sustainability in general, obviously. Sorry. But yeah, litter and recycling is a huge thing at the moment as well. So yeah, that would be my first issue to resolve.
Fab, thank you. And Christoph.
Well, I think sustainability on campus, from living in Forest, Morgan Court last year, we don't actually have like small bins around the place up there, like where you just throw, like there are tons of smokers up there and I know for a fact they just throw them on the floor. And I know we could already do like quite a big impact by just putting bins like next to the holes and everything. That could be a good place to start. And like the campaign is a great idea with, yeah. I don't know how much influence the activities officer can have on the sustainability of campus, but that's certainly something I have to look into more. And I'm definitely all for increasing sustainability on campus, yes.
Fab, thank you very much both. So our next question, the activities role looks after sports clubs and societies. So how would you ensure that you're representing all of these? And Christoph first, please.
Well, staying in contact with all the different societies, I think is the priority there, like talking to the leaders of each society, talking to their needs, like what can be done to improve their societies. Perhaps they don't even have all the ideas themselves. Maybe we could do some suggestions for them. And yeah, I think contact is key to ensuring that all the sports societies get the necessary help they need.
Fab, thank you. And Aaliyah?
Oh, sorry. Well, obviously I need to support these student networks, societies and clubs and undertake any campaigns that might help them and to support them. I can also improve the facilities to suit these societies better. And I think that there should be forms or questionnaires be sent out regularly to these societies so they can address any issues directly to me, or to, to whoever's there. But I think it should be more regulated, any issues, so that they're brought up directly. There's also physical evidence of it there then, so that it can be taken care of. Yeah. Thanks.
Fab, thank you. A bit of a big one. If you are successful, what campaigns would you want to kick off your time in the role with? So pretty open one. So Aaliyah first.
Yes, this has already also been done, but I would love to have another, like, say, a week or two, or even a month of societies coming together, and kind of like Freshers Week, but I would love to have it again, but mainly societies, so that everyone can have a go and try different things to see what they like, what they suit. We could also talk about starting up new societies in this month as well, for anybody that wants to start societies. I think that would be really helpful. And we could talk about anything that students want within societies that are even already, like any new topics or anything, or like if there's any, say if it's competitive, any championships coming up, we can organize that and stuff in that month, depending on the amount of people that want to join and stuff.
Fab, thank you. Christoph.
So I think first order for me would be to get in contact with all the societies, like get that network going, to have all the connections you need. And I think it's almost a shame that we don't have a lot of cross-campus activities. Like I don't really know anyone from the Cardiff campus. I just know the people who moved from Treforest over there. And I think that's a shame because we have a way bigger society available to us than we realize. And I think that would be very nice to have some cross events between the two campuses, maybe football games or different sporting events, or just look at what societies we have, and maybe there are very similar ones which would like to interact with one another on a more regular basis, establish that network between the two campuses better. I think would be very nice.
Fab, thank you both. And another bit of a broad one. If you had £10,000 to go towards SU activities, and anything that's in your role, how would you spend that? So Christoph, we'll go to you first.
So I think an important aspect would be to provide proper educators for different societies. Perhaps something like having a professional coach available for the different sports teams, or maybe just like a chess teacher for the chess team, things like that. Another thing we could do is obviously improve facilities. That would be getting in contact with societies, asking what they need, and then we have to order the priority list of that, like which of these things are actually are necessary and are able to actually help the societies out. Not all of them will obviously be important. A lot of people will just ask for things just to have them, but that's up to us to decide then what has priority and what not.
Fab, thank you. Aaliyah.
Hiya. I would love to improve the facility provision for extracurricular activities and stuff. If we have bigger facilities and more facilities, we can attend more like clubs and societies, which is beneficial because we can address more students' needs and wants for more societies. That way we could also cover travel, uniforms if they need them, anything like that that might be mandatory for some societies. I know that some societies are more expensive than others. Like cheerleading and dance, they have to pay for their own uniforms and championships and everything. And then some societies are free. So I think if we had that money, we could cover for travel and uniforms and stuff to make it more available to everyone, because it's not fair that some people are limited to societies because they can't afford it. So thank you.
Fab, thank you. And our final question for the activities officer. What barriers do you see for students engaging with sports clubs and societies? I've completely lost my place. Who is first? Yeah, we'll go with Aaliyah. Yes, that tracks.
I think it's me. Sorry, what was the question again? Was it the boundaries that they might have?
So sorry, 2 seconds, I'll read it again.
Oh, sorry.
I completely went then. What barriers do you see for students engaging with sports clubs and societies?
Well, number one would be language barriers, because obviously most societies are English, and there's a lot of Welsh people on our campus that just can't go to these societies because they don't understand what people are saying. And my second one would be money again, because we can't afford, well, some people just can't afford to join certain societies even if they want to. And it's not fair for some societies to be completely limited to people. You should be able to join whatever you want to do. It's your uni life. You should be able, if you want to join dance, you can join dance. You shouldn't have to be limited because you can't afford it. Or for your language barriers or anything, or for neurodivergent students, there's not enough support put in place in societies. The support's usually put in place for academic lectures and studies, but people never think about how it's put in place for societies. So I think that we should have a look at that. Thank you.
Fab, thank you. And Christoph?
I absolutely agree with all the points being made. To elaborate, maybe there might be a sort of intimidating factor, like maybe if you weren't active in a sports before, like getting into a sport is very difficult. Maybe a thing I could do to help with that sort of thing, if I know a student who's interested and wants to join, maybe get that introduction phase over with by introducing the person to the sports team myself. Apart from that, all the other points were already answered very well. So, yes.
Thank you both very much. That was really, really interesting. So what we're going to do now is we're going to swap over to our welfare candidates. So both of you, can you turn your cameras off for me? Still continue to lurk. I think we've had one question put in the chat. So if you want to go back and answer that in your own time on your campaigns, that'd be great. If our welfare candidates, if you could all turn your cameras on, please, that would be fantastic. Thank you. And like we said earlier, the order that we're going to be doing these questions is in alphabetical, and we're going to be rotating through these. So we'll start with Athena, then Ellis, Freddie, Keaton and Rydian, and then we will move through, kind of dropping you off and then coming through to the end. So what we are going to do, give me 2 seconds to get to my sheet. What we will do is we will start with a round of introductions, and then I will go off camera again, and then I'll just keep talking you through the questions. So we will start with Athena. Can we have your name, pronouns, degree, year and campus, please?
Of course. Hi, everyone. My name is Athena. I'm using she, her pronouns. I'm currently in my third year of computer forensics degree, and I'm based in Treforest campus.
Thank you very much. Ellis, would you like to answer the same, please?
Yeah, sure. So hi, everyone. I'm Ellis. I use he, him pronouns, and I'm a final year history student. Exciting stuff, I know. And I am based traditionally on the Treforest campus also.
Fab, thank you. Freddie?
Hi, my name's Freddie Stovald. I use he, him pronouns. I'm studying professional policing. I'm on my second year, and I'm based at Treforest campus.
Thank you. Keaton?
Hi, I'm Keaton Reese, and I use he, him pronouns. I am in my third year of study on forensic investigation.
Fab, thank you. And Rydian?
Hi, I'm Rydian Thomas. I use he, him pronouns. I'm a third year computer forensics student. And yeah, I'm based in Treforest.
Fabulous, thank you. I'm going to pop my camera off and we'll start with Athena answering this first question. If we can just keep your mics off whilst we're not answering the questions, please. Thank you. So the first question, what has been your proudest moment from your time at USW, Athena?
Well, I've had like many proud moments in USW. My proudest one has to be making it through last year, because like obviously everything was online, and it was a very hard year when it comes to getting support. So I'm just very proud I managed to get out of it, and I'm back for a year that's gonna be hopefully very fun.
Fabulous, thank you. Ellis, what's been your proudest moment?
Oh, difficult. See, I could go down the narcissistic route and say, winning a mug for SVR of the year, but I think, in all seriousness, it's meeting all the different students and staff through my time here at USW, working on projects that focus on, how the university deals with mental health, because that's a big issue, both, now as always sort of thing. So helping to contribute to looking at how the university deals with mental health provisions for both students and staff has probably been my most proudest achievement as a worker. Is something that has sort of like gone into a more meaningful project and report sort of thing. So yeah.
Thank you. Freddie.
My proudest moment was actually, I think, getting through last year. The pandemic came so quickly, and I wanted to get up to uni, but I knew I also wanted to do a practical degree. So being able to study with the help of like lecturers and also my friends that I made throughout my first year here, I was very, very happy when I got my results at the end of the first year and just saw that I did well, even though I wasn't able to do my course to like the full way that everyone else would have done it in the past.
Fab, thank you. Keaton.
Yeah, so as some of us have mentioned, my proudest moment would be making it up to this point right now. Obviously, this past year has been really challenging for quite a lot of students. I'm just proud that I've managed to pull through. Like, the support I've had is amazing off my friends, off my tutors, and I'm just grateful.
Fab, thank you. And Rydian.
So I'd say my proudest moment is just becoming part of a community, and since first year, sort of expanding into it and seeing people from diverse cultures, different places. And as someone who is like, I've never traveled out the country and I've not really traveled about, I've sort of been a hometown boy. Meeting all these people with different interests and them showing interest in your interests has been really nice. And getting to know all these different people has really sort of expanded my knowledge and my interest in the world. And it's just also really nice to connect with people on a level just beyond face, which I think I really enjoyed.
Fabulous, thank you. Our next question is, what experience do you have that is relevant to the role? And we'll be starting with Ellis, please.
I think the experience I have is that I've spent my entire time at USW, literally from the second week, involved in the SU. Both I've been a course rep first year and this year. I've been an SVR for all 3 years sort of thing. And I've worked towards making meaningful changes both on an academic and non-academic level. And I've also engaged with tons of officer campaigns such as Trick or Treat. And yeah, so I feel like what makes me most prepared for this role and suited for it is my knowledge and skills that I've built through experience with talking and engaging with the SU staff, but also by talking to students and helping them with their own issues and queries.
Fab, thank you. Freddie.
Hi, I have a qualification with Mind for mental health and wellbeing, and I've used that to help out youths back home in the rugby club, if they've ever needed someone to talk to. I know if they find quite difficult making friends, but I've used that up here as well to kind of my advantage to help other people and myself. I feel like I've built a nice support network up here. Yeah.
Fab, thank you. Keaton.
So I'm a current student ambassador for the forensics course. So I'm really exposed to student community currently and future. I always get to have a chance to chat to them. So just see what's going on with their life, just trying to get to know them a bit more. I think that's going to give me quite a bit of experience and I can learn a lot from it. And I was also a trainee, a junior leader for youth service. So with that role, I would apply what I've learned there from the youth work that I was doing. So I was in direct placement in youth centres. So I was working with young people, and some of them would come up to me with like some issues they have. Then I'd just signpost them. I'd know where to send them, why I'm sending them there, and then yeah, that's pretty much it.
Fab, thank you. Rydian.
So I'm currently working as a bartender, and I did work as a bartender in first year. And a major part of that role, ultimately, our end goal as well, is making sure people have a good time while also being safe, as their safety is our number one priority. And in doing this, you do strike up conversations with a lot of people, whether they're going through something or not, or whether they're just struggling. And so in being in third year now, after last year, sometimes we get asked and talked about how our course is doing, and then we see insights into other people's courses and how they're going and the issues they're having, and it just make light of it, which is the main thing. And being able to keep people safe and looking and seeing what you should look out for has been a really good insight to how to sort of proceed.
Fab, thank you. And Athena.
So my experience has been mostly focused around working with young people. It's my second year as a volunteer with Platform, where I've been a certified peer mentor, which means I'm trained to get when someone like asks me for help, we can together identify the problem and work towards a solution. So I can provide like a full path from identifying the problem to getting to a solution. And besides that, I've been a student mentor for 2 years now. So I've helped students that have just enrolled get more into contact with the university, get more settled into uni life, and I've signposted them through my duties as a student mentor to the necessary services within the university. So, like, I'm very excited to possibly extend that as a SE welfare.
Fabulous, thank you. If you need me to repeat these questions at any time, I realise that there are 5 of you, so we might forget halfway through. If you do, just let me know. Our next question is, are there any campaigns or projects from previous welfare officers that you'd like to continue, or is there anything that you would like to start from scratch? We'll kick this off with Freddie, please.
I really liked the Cooking with Kay. I thought that was very good to do something that was outside education. It was online as well, so anyone could come in and watch it. I quite enjoyed it myself. So something along those lines would be something I'd like to do. I think with the whole thing of COVID at the moment, it's good to do something online. I'd like to get involved in the more practical things, but as we don't really know where the times will be going at the moment, I think having something online, even if it's not running, having an idea set up and ready would be good. As well as doing practical stuff with the students so you can meet them and they can feel more comfortable coming to you if they have an issue.
Fab, thank you. Keaton, please.
So I really enjoyed the Looking After a Mate one. That's been done over the past couple of years. I think that one's quite a vital campaign. Everyone should be like reaching out to their friends, making sure they're okay. They're the ones who would see the signs first in case they do actually need help. There is the stress campaign in January normally, as this exam season is quite high pressure, high intensity, and then helping students like manage their time, their resources. I really I really used that one. It was really helpful.
Fab, thank you. Ridian.
I think the stress less campaign that Kean mentioned was an absolute blessing of one, being someone who struggles with exams myself in person. And I think that if I had to put something forward, it would definitely be the possibility of working with the societies closely. As someone who's been an outcast before, I know that being part of a society, whether it's the tabletop society or the pool society or rugby, etc., you can find a sort of safe place in those societies. And I think having the possibility of a meeting with some of the heads of those societies to see how the people in those societies are doing would be a great possibility to sort of push towards if I just can. But I think overall some of the things that have been pushed, also in the bar with the current spiking epidemic we've had, some of the things like the stick over cups and the bottle stops have been a great push to ensuring safety. And recently the barcode that lists a bunch of numbers that you can ring if you don't feel safe.
Fab, thank you. Athena.
To be fair, I would love to start something new if elected. That every single welfare campaign so far has been addressing problems of the times. So this time, because we're basically trying to come out of a pandemic, so many people feel like they don't have anywhere to turn to because we've been isolated for so long. So I want to start a campaign to basically show people that they still have a place and that they should. Their troubles are valid and it's okay to struggle, that there are many more that struggle. So I'd like to basically provide a safe space through a campaign to get people talking about their mental health.
Thank you. And Ellis.
Wow, tough act to follow. I mean, all of you have brought up some, amazing previous campaigns or new ideas, something. I think, obviously, all the campaigns mentioned, they've been great. Specifically with student safety, though, I'd like to basically lean into a campaign that happened years ago, even before I was at USW, which is a scary thought, to do with spiking and nightclub safety, and try and bring that back in a new, more updated, relevant fashion, and campaign for both the SU and the university to maybe do more on student safety on nights out. I know Cardiff University and the relevant SUs do a lot in terms of like Cardiff City as a general, and it'd be really good if, through a campaign I can get students more aware of not just the safety measures in place at all our campuses, but try and collaborate with other universities and SUs to hopefully form a bigger network like what they've got in Cardiff at the moment. So yeah, I think that's mainly why I want to do is student safety at the moment is a major issue, and that's something I want to address through campaigns.
Fab, thank you all. Our next question is, what do you think is your most important quality to make you the right person for the role? We'll kick this on with Keaton, please.
Your most important quality would have to be being approachable. You need to come across as approachable to students, because if they don't have anyone who they can see they can turn to, there may be like future problems down the line. Being approachable, you just need to just really go out there, go the extra mile for your students.
Fab, thank you. Ridian.
I think my best quality for the role is, and it'll sound weird, but my willingness to make a fool of myself. Because I feel, and I've experienced it sometimes, where you see someone and it can feel intimidating to start a conversation with them. However, when someone makes a fool of themselves and you laugh with them or even at them sometimes, it makes it that much easier to sort of talk to them. There's that less stress of, oh God, what will they think of me? And I think with that in mind, it'll make it easier for people to come up to me and talk to me and make it more approachable.
Fab, thank you. Athena?
I'm gonna have to ask you to repeat the question.
That's okay. What do you think is your most important quality to make you right for the role?
Well, I think that I am very determined to to make student life better. So right now I've been elected course rep by my peers, and I am trying my best to get our academic experience up to a very good standard. And I'm just very passionate about making the same thing for all students in this university. So I'm determined to listen, and I'm determined to work through problems just to make this university a more positive place for everyone.
Thank you. Ellis?
I mean, just to piggyback on Ridian, really, I mean, I'm no fool of work, or I'm no stranger to making a fool of myself. Surprisingly, I don't dress as a dragon most times on campus. But I think one of my qualities is probably my work ethic and my commitment. I feel like whoever goes into this role, they need to be aware of what sabbatical SU officer is, and I feel like, and if you speak to anyone in the SU or work, or even some students I've engaged with, I'm painfully committed to improving student experience. I am more than happy to, bring it up to the university or to the SU if I feel like something isn't being done. And I'm not afraid to do that. And I'm committed to working, left, right, and centre to make sure that not only the student experience is kept at a high standard, but it's improved and is inclusive in that. So I think my quality would be my commitment and work ethic.
Thank you. And Freddie?
I like to think I'm very selfless. I want to make sure that I'm approachable, and that when they do come to see me, if they have an issue, I can either listen and be a great listener, or if they need someone to give a response, I can also try and advise them and help them figure out what they can do to make their situation any better. I don't feel like every single situation should be dealt the same way, and I think you have to treat everyone individually, and not everyone wants to accept help in the same way as well. And that's something that I think is very, very important to understand. One person may want to be talked to, one person may just want to be listened to, and it's just how you move forward after that.
Fab, thank you. Question 5. This kind of gets into how you would experience the role. So how do you think you would handle your ideas potentially being turned down by university executives if they're not feasible? So please do ask me to, I'll repeat it one more time. How do you think you would handle your ideas being turned down by university executives if they think that they're not feasible? And we'll kick this off with Ridian, please.
So if my idea got turned down, I would approach it in a mature way and just look for sort of workaround that works for both parties without sacrificing the concept of the idea itself. And so if I perhaps put one thing forward and they said, oh, we can't do this exactly, but we could do this, I would definitely push for having solutions like that made in place.
Thank you. Athena?
I feel like I will take two different approaches to this matter. So every idea has a purpose. So like if my idea was turned down, first I would ask for feedback, see what would not work, so I can like present the idea again in a more feasible manner, something that will work for both parties. But even if that got turned down, then I'd have to come up with something new for the same purpose, but I will make sure that the purpose got done, that somehow like what I want to achieve will be achieved one way or another.
Thank you. Ellis?
I believe in a collaborative approach to, if my idea gets turned down, that's fine. How do we go forward with it? I'm going to take this off now because it is getting in my hair. So, for example, if I give the idea of, well, I feel like more breastfeeding stations should be put on campus, okay, that's not feasible. So what is an alternate? Can we maybe signpost where them stations are currently? It's all about communication sort of thing. And I don't believe there's such thing as a straight no answer sort of thing. If students want something and there's evidence to back up, especially from other institutions, then students should expect that, or it's reasonable for them to want it. So I feel like it's more about working with the university. If we can't get it now because it's too unfeasible or expensive, then what can we put in place just to quell that demand, like training or resources in place? What alternates that are more cost effective can we put in place?
Thank you. Freddie.
If one of my ideas got turned down, I would encourage feedback. I'm here at this uni to learn, and I think that goes in every single aspect of what I do here. I'll be one of the newer members of VSU, so I'd like feedback from the other people who've been there longer, so I can understand what is feasible and what isn't. I wouldn't take it to heart if someone denied an idea. I understand not everything is possible, but if my idea wasn't possible, I'd love to change it into something else and make it better using the help of my colleagues, to make it something that will work and can benefit the students and the SU, but is also practical for everyone.
Thank you. And Keaton.
So as the other candidates have said, obviously looking at it with a more optimistic outlook. So first and foremost, always get feedback. What is going wrong? Where can we change? What can we change? And then we look at the accessibility, so the funding, what hasn't the university got? That's why we can't do the project. There needs to be middle ground, because the students here, if they've requested it, as Ellis said, it should be possible to an extent. Obviously, we know we're not miracle workers, but getting close enough to the point will just be there, just to give the students extra peace of mind that we are listening to them. They are heard, and the stuff that matters to them is taken seriously by not only the union and the university too.
Fab, thank you. Question 6. What do you personally believe is the biggest issue affecting students right now? And we'll kick this off with Athena, please.
The biggest issue I see students being affected by is student safety. Like even my roommates, like we live off campus, and we are always like sometimes we're very insecure about coming back in the dark when it's very late. So campuses don't really feel safe for a majority of the students, and it's something that should be addressed soon.
Thank you. Ellis, please.
I think isolation is a major issue at the moment. Coming out of COVID, you've got a lot of anxiety with some students on coming back to campus. I mean, we've all been locked inside for over a year, which is a scary thought. So isolation is a big thing. I feel like that also encompasses a lot of other issues at the moment. If I take safety, for example, that Athena mentioned, I feel like, if students don't feel safe, they could potentially become isolated, and that have a knock-on impact on the student experience. So I feel like isolation is the main priority, in all forms, not just, isolating yourself because of COVID, but in all aspects, isolation needs to be tackled by the SU and the uni.
Thank you. Freddie.
I have to say I do agree with the previous comment. I think isolation is the biggest problem. There are students that just don't interact with other students, and it's either because they don't feel comfortable doing it, or they haven't had the opportunity to meet other people before and go out by themselves and introduce themselves. I think this needs to be tackled. I think doing more inclusive events within the SU could help this, but also just encouraging people when they move into their flat to make sure that they give everyone's door a knock, or if they don't answer the door. With me last year, we had a flatmate who didn't answer their door for a while, so we left a note on their door just saying, "Welcome to the flat, we'd love to meet you." and we all had a meal together the next day. And that made the flat feel a lot more like a family than just random people who came here to study. I think that could be like ingrained more into how the SU works. It could make it a lot better place to kind of live and study.
Thank you very much. Keaton, please.
So, as previously mentioned, with safety, a lot of students aren't feeling safe on campus at the moment. So, especially when you're walking back from the nightclub in Treforest, the student nightclub, more often than not, the side gate is closed, which means students then have to walk a longer way to get home next to a road. Like, granted, it's at night, but there still can be cars, and they are maybe a bit intoxicated, so they aren't, say, behaving as they should. No fault of their own, they're just enjoying themselves. That's something that I'd like to see changed. And then the student safety support app, that needs to be pushed further, and there needs to be more coverage for it.
Thank you. And Rydian, please.
I think the main factor of focus would be on the safety on campus. Taking a note from what Ellis said and from what Freddie said, I believe that with the way the isolation is and the possibilities of COVID, these little moments where we can go out and interact with people, when that safety is threatened or possibly could cause someone to have a negative experience that makes them don't want to do that, they start isolating more, and it just closes them off from the world. And that can be a daunting and harrowing experience. And so focusing on safety and protecting these little moments where we can go out and experience the world as it was 3 years ago, which sounds weird enough to say, should be a forefront, whether it's dark streets or perhaps places on campus, because there are a few places on campus where the lights are not as they should be. And it's just little things like that which we can push forward to create a safer experience for the students, staff, and everyone that lives on campus, or even people who don't live on campus but come here.
Fabulous, thank you. And our final question for the welfare candidates is: students need someone to trust in times of crisis. Why should they trust you? We'll kick this off with Ellis, please.
Students should trust me because not only am I approachable, but I know what I'm doing. I've basically know how the SU and the university runs through experience within my role as an SVR and a course rep and working with the SU on other projects. Students should have trust in me because I am committed. If they have an issue, that's an issue I'm going to fight all the way to the bank and back with the university. The student experience and non-academic issues, it flows in my blood, as weird as that sounds. Like, I am 100% committed to improving student experience, and I feel like that's why students should trust me, because they're not just voting in a officer who's going to be here for the next few months sort of thing, just as a joyride sort of thing. I'm here because I care about non-academic issues, and I want to make sure that USW gets a better rep than what it already has. So that's why they should trust me.
Freddie, please.
I don't believe that trust should be given. I think it should always be earned. So I want to show that I can be respectful to everyone and push myself forward. I feel like if I did get this role, I'd be a new face, and that can be daunting to people. I think definitely people who are going through something already themselves. I want to try and make sure that people see my face actively, if this is online or in person. I want to make myself approachable on both those ways, if it's online or in person, just showing that they can give me a message. Or if they see me, I will just say hello, and if they want to start talking to me, then they're welcome to. I think that's most important. I've been through my own struggles myself, and I've had help from people at the uni. And that's the way that they approached me, and I feel like that worked extremely well for me. and I'd like to try and give that back to other students now who need help.
Thank you. Keaton, please.
So I have the commitment and the drive to push for the student voice to be heard. I would like to think I'm very approachable, and as Freddie said, getting your face out there more, especially in times of change. So with the welfare officer going out now, a new face is a bit daunting. You don't know who they are or what sort of things they do, but over time you'll just adapt. Yeah.
Thank you. Rydian, please.
I think they should give me the opportunity to gain their trust, because I've been through my own struggles and I've always been open-minded, and with that I've overcome various issues as anyone else would have, and I always seek to give, well, a solution or perhaps a way to deal with it. I mean, after all, one of my favorite quotes from my dad is, where there's a will, there's a way. And so living by that example and seeing that example constantly, I do find, and I do think that where there's a problem, there's always a way that you can make it better or overcome it. And that's why I think I should be trusted.
Thank you. And Athena, please.
Sorry. The pandemic changed a lot of things, so I don't expect students to give me their trust blindly. I would like to earn it by actively changing our welfare for the better. It's why I am running for this role, because I've always believed if I want to see change, like if anyone wants to see change, they should be the change. So that's why I'd like to be given the opportunity to win students' trust, because I'd like to see change in this university, and I believe I'm most determined to see this through.
Thank you very much, folks. That has been our candidate question time. So yeah, I want to congratulate all of the candidates on their answers. So Aaliyah and Christoph as well as our welfare candidates. I'm just going to do a bit of wrapping up. And we will let you all go. But yeah, thank you very much, everybody. And I'll just remind you about a few key dates coming up with our elections. So the voting starts on Monday, the 6th of December from 9 a.m. And you can do that on our website at uswsu.com. Voting closes on Wednesday, the 8th at 6 p.m. The results are going to be released from 9 a.m. on Thursday, the 9th of December. That'll be on uswsu.com as well as all of our social media. If you don't follow us already, make sure that you do so. We're at USWSU. And we've got some exciting campaign bits and bobs coming up. I'm saying I left yesterday. That's really tragic. The SU has some exciting things coming up over the next few weeks. The deadline for the Randy Dragon name submission is 12 p.m. tomorrow on the 2nd of December. So if you haven't submitted a name already, please do. If you vote in the elections as well as submitting a name or voting for a name, you might be in a chance of winning a TV that we promoted at Freshers that nobody won. So that's up for grabs. Apparently we've got dogs on campus next week for the SU Stress Less campaign. These have always been a massive hit, so make sure that you can check them out when you can. They're in Cardiff on the 7th, which is the Tuesday, Treforest on the 8th, which is the Wednesday, Newport on the 9th, and they might be in Glyntaf on the Friday. I don't know. Check the social media. But that is the dogs and I believe a plant shop on all of our campuses next week for Stress Less. Again, a massive, massive thank you to all of our candidates and our few audience members who actually came. So thank you very much. Make sure that you're supporting all your candidates and asking them the questions. If there's anything you want to ask them, you can pop it in the chat and they'll go back to it on their own campaign pages. But yeah, thank you very much. We're going to wrap this up now. It's been exactly an hour and I wish you all the best. Catch you soon.